Ambrose of Milan, De Mysteriis, Episode 2. De moralibus quotidianum sermonem habuemus, cum vel patriarcharum gesta, vel proverbiordrum Lega Renture praecepta, ut his informati atque instituti assuesceretis maiordrum ingredi vias, eorumque iter carpere, ac divinis obedire oraculis, quo renovati per baptismum eius vitae usum teneretis quae ablutos deceret. Ambrose begins by saying, on the subject of morality, de moralibus, a daily discussion or a daily conversation we had. So habuemus is from habeo habere. It's a second conjugation verb, and of course this is the first person perfect indicative active. So we held, the first plural, perfect indicative active. We held a daily conversation about moral behavior when cum, either the deeds of the patriarchs or the precepts, the commandments of the Proverbs were read, Lega Renture. Now this is quite nice stylistically because we begin with a genitive, patriarcharum, first declension masculine, then we have gesta, the nominative, which is the subject of Lega Renture. Then we have another genitive, proverbiordrum, and this is neuter, second declension, and then we have the verb to break up the perfect symmetry, and then the second subject, praecepta, which is in the nominative case, when either, well, the deeds of the patriarchs, or, well, the commandments of the Proverbs were read, Lega Renture. This, of course, is a first plural, imperfect, subjunctive, and passive. We then have an ut clause here, which I think is going to be purpose, that is a enuntiatum finale, a purpose clause, but we'll have to see if it's actually consecutivum or result. We won't know until we get further along into it. So let's take it as purpose for now. In order that informati atque instituti, informed or guided, shaped, and instructed his by these, and the antecedent of his is both praecepta and gesta, you may become accustomed, assuesceretis, and this is a second plural, imperfect subjunctive active. You may become accustomed to walk in ingredi, to trod, or to tread, I suppose, the paths of the ancestors, maiordrum. So ingredi here is a third conjugation deponent verb, ingredi or ingredi. Its object is vias in the feminine plural accusative, and then of course we have maiordrum as a genitive. You may become accustomed to walk in or to tread the paths of the ancestors. Informati and instituti, these are both participles and they're in the masculine plural nominative, so that they are the subjects of assuesceretis. In order that, shaped and formed or shaped and taught by these, you may become accustomed, ingredi, to tread the paths of the ancestors, carpere iter, to pick out their path, iter eordrum, another genitive. So notice how we have here infinitive ingredi with object vias, this again a deponent verb. Then we have the object iter and then the infinitive coming after it. So iter is the object of carpere, vias is the object of ingredi. So it's an A-B-B-A structure for these elements, you might say. And the third one, and you may be accustomed, assuesceretis, to obey the divine oracles, divinis oraculis. The verb obedire takes the dative plus the dative case. It's a compounded verb, you see. So divinis and oraculis are neuter plural dative. So three different constructions, you might say. We have infinitive accusative, then we have accusative infinitive, then we have infinitive with datives, which are on both sides of the infinitive. So nice variety of style here on Ambrose's part. Now finally, after we have this purpose clause, ut, we're going to get another purpose clause, in order that when you have been renovati, when you have been renewed or restored, regenerated, per baptismum, through baptism, you may hold on to, teneretis, the use of that life, eius vitae, that life which, quae, is appropriate or fitting for those who have been washed, ablutos. So here is the masculine plural accusative, object of this impersonal verb deceret, but it has, of course, quae as the subject. the life which is fitting or which is proper to those who have been washed. And teneratus, another subjunctive, second plural, imperfect, subjunctive, and active. So that, quo, restored, regenerated, renewed through baptism. Of course, how we translate this word is very important as to the overall meaning, which is why I gave 3 different definitions so as not to prejudice the theological meaning behind it, but to leave it somewhat open. Restored through baptism, you may hold on to the value of that life, eius vitae usum, which befits those who have been cleansed.
If you enjoyed that little video lesson, please go ahead and subscribe for us, click the bell and so forth. Check out the other videos on this page, leave a comment, and please be sure to check out our Patreon page as well.